Perfect. All right, so this morning we're going to walk through setting up your agent website and how to add some additional pages to that, whether it may be a blog that you're interested in or maybe an open a house page. So we will go through all of that from start to finish. So you'll see here that I'm on my command homepage. To get started setting up your agent website, you'll click on the consumer applet, which is the second to last icon on the far left. If you roll your mouse over the icon, oh, they moved it, okay. Now it is the last icon, okay. Click on consumer, and then up at the top of the page, we'll click on the agent site pages tab. And then here you'll see a list of all the agents pages that you have for your site. If you haven't configured your site yet, you won't see as many as I have here. To get started creating your site, we'll click over here within the blue bar where it says configure your site, or you can scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, and in the bottom left-hand corner, it says configure your site. You can click on either one of those and it'll get started, so that way you can get started creating your website. So I'm gonna click on configure your site. This pop-up is going to ask me what provider I want to use. I want to use my new KW agent site. If you have a Placer site and you want to continue to use Placer, you can do that as well. Or if you want to explore other options, so if you want to go through a completely third-party program and have maybe someone develop a site for you, you can do that as well. But today we want to use our new KW agent sites. They're free, they're included in our monthly tech fee. So I'm going to use my new KW agent site, and I'm going to click submit. And this is going to open up the Kelly Guide. And anytime that you're in command and there's a Kelly Guide, it basically is a process that will hold your hand to set this up for you. So it'll let you know exactly what it is you need to do at every single step of creating your website. It makes it super easy for you. And since we've already gone through and set up our marketing profile, a lot of this information will already be prepared for us. So I'm going to click on Get Started. It's going to remind me about compliance, that I need to have my Market Center brokerage logo, inclusion of ownership statement, and compliance with local board commission laws and rules. So as we go through this, we'll make sure that we are keeping track of all those compliance regulations. And if you need a copy of the First Atlanta logo, you can click here to, to find one within command. Or you can go to rawlsgrouphelpdesk.com, and Scott Hardy has already uploaded all those logos for you there. So I'm going to click acknowledge and continue, and now it's going to draw me into the Kelly Guide, and we will just get started. And with everything in command, I always recommend that you start at the very top, and we'll just work our way down. So what you're seeing over here on the left 2/3 of the page is a preview of the website. And then what we'll be updating will be over here on the right-hand side, on this right 1/3 of the page. So we'll start here at the top with our subdomain. You can see that's here. It's going to default to, likely your name, or if you have a specific email address, it may default to something like that. You can change that. So right now it's just defaults to my name .kw.com. If you would like to change your domain name or your subdomain, you can change it right here. So you can just type in here. So I could just type in Nicholas Core Atlanta and click claim domain. Congrats, you have claimed your subdomain. It's that simple. So you can change it here. You do also have the ability to change it outside of the Kelly Guide. So let's say you're going through this process today and you're like, you know what, I really want to change my subdomain. And then tomorrow you're like, I don't really like that. I want to go back or change it to something else. You're able to do that as well. So I'm just going to keep this as nicholascore.kw.com. Click claim domain. One thing I want to point out about our agent website URL is when we were with Placer, you were able to use a vanity URL. So for me, I purchased nicholascore.com, and I was able to load my Placer website within nicholascore.com. However, at the moment, we are unable to do that with our KW websites. If you own your own vanity URL, what you can do in the meantime is you can forward that URL to your KW site. So right now, the way I have it set up in GoDaddy is that nicholascore.com automatically forwards to nicholascore.kw.com. So consumers aren't going to know the difference, and I don't have to update my business cards or anything. All my marketing stays the same. So let me know if you have any questions about setting up forwarding. We can set up some time to walk through that. So once you have confirmed your subdomain, now we'll scroll down and we're going to click into the marketing profile information. This is going to be our basic information about us, First Atlanta, and this is all coming directly from your marketing profile. So if you have filled this in the marketing profile, it should automatically pull that information here, so that way you don't have to type it all in. But I do recommend that as you're going through here, take some time to read through it to make sure that it's correct, and if there are any changes, you can make them here. So you want your first name, your last name, your market center brokerage, so First Atlanta-Sandy Springs is how I have it in there. Our address, 200 Glendridge Point, Suite 100, Atlanta, Georgia 30342. Then we have team or business name. So I have set up my own, marketing team of Nicholas Core Real Estate Group. So I've included that here. My professional title is Realtor. Email, then our office phone number, excluding spaces or special characters. So you want to make sure that you have your phone number here because GREC compliance requires that anytime a property is listed, the agent's name and phone number address needs to be included at the same number of times as the brokerage's name and phone number in equal or smaller font size. So just keep that in mind so that way you can go through and make sure that all of the information in here is correct. Below that is my biography, and this is pulls in directly from my marketing profile. I just have a really short biography that I wrote up, but it'll just pull in all of that information there. Your license number, and then compliance legal footer. So in the state of Georgia, we're not technically required or legally required to have any compliance or legal footer. But what I have here is Nicholas Core, Realtor with Keller Williams First Atlanta. Just one more time that I'm able to put my name and the brokerage's name on my website. You could also put here, each office is independently owned and operated, if you like, anything like that. Then we have our market center brokerage license. So we have H-33313. And again, this is probably more information that any consumer would ever be interested in knowing, but it's always better to provide more information for them. So if anything comes up, if another agent pulls up your website, or if GREC somehow comes and looks at it, you have all that there, and so you don't have to worry about violating any of their rules or regulations. Continuing down, we have compliance legal footer link 1. So we're not required in the state of Georgia to have legal footer links, but in some states, it is required that you have links at the bottom of every single one of your pages on your website or properties displayed that link to additional information, whether it be fair housing regulations, what it means to be a realtor, any other information that a consumer might want to know. If you have any of those links, you can include them here. So if you want to link to your fair housing or realtor or Georgia Association of Realtors, you can do that here. And you can also add more links if you have more than one. And then we also have legal footer images. This is going to be a fair housing logo, realtor logo, any other designation logo that you may have or have earned. You can include those images here at the bottom. You'll see they recommend a size of 128 by 48 pixels. So go through and add any of those that you would like. Continuing to scroll down, we now have our profile picture. And you'll see here it's a recommended size of 360 by 360. The reason that Command recommends the 360 by 360 size, and it's the same thing for the Market Center brokerage logo as well as your team logo, is because each one of these logos appears in these circles around the website. And by having it that 360 by 360 image, it renders properly on the website. So it doesn't get distorted and get pulled and make you look funny. So if you have any questions on how to make a 360 by 360 image, I'm happy to help you with that. You can do that in Designs, and you can also do that in Canva or any other Photoshop-like product. So you want to make sure you include your First Atlanta logo here to, again, make sure that you are in compliance and that consumers know that you're with Keller Williams First Atlanta, especially if you want to include your team logo or header here. So we want to make sure we're always showing off First Atlanta at least as many times as we are ourselves and our own brand. If you want to change any of these, you can just click on upload and add those images there, and it will update the preview on the left-hand side. All right, so once we've gone through our first step, I'm going to click save and continue, and that's going to take me on to step 2 of our Kelly guide, which is style and theme. So continuing again with the same process, we'll start at the top and we'll work our way down. So style and theme, this is pretty simple. We have the options to choose between a red theme and a dark theme. Really the only main difference is going to be this KW up here in the top left-hand corner. So you can currently see it's on the red theme. If you change it to the dark theme, it then changes that KW to kind of that really dark bluish black color. I personally choose to have the red theme because red is synonymous with Keller Williams, and I want to make sure that all of my branding is consistent across every platform. So I'm just going to leave this as red. Continuing down to our homepage text. Here above the search bar where consumers can search for homes, you can add your own specific text that you like. Find your dream home here. You can update this to anything you want, anything that would lead a consumer to know that they should start searching for their home in this toolbar right here. This is also something that you can easily change after you've exited the Kelly guide. So if in the future, let's say you have a business tagline or something that you like to say to your clients, you can come here or go into command and easily update it. And I'll walk you through that as well. You also have the ability to upload a homepage hero image. So if I scroll down, you'll be able to see we have, I have three options of hero images. You should have 5, just from various trainings. I've gone through and I've deleted them just to show you how to do it. But you can upload your own, and you can remove any of the images that you don't like just by clicking on the little trash can, and that will delete that image. So what all these images do is they actually rotate. Over here on the left-hand side, they will kind of carousel through all the various images that you have as your hero image. If you would like to upload your own, you can. It's a recommended size of 1200 by 1200. I do want to point out that if you decide to upload your own images, make sure you have copyright permissions for those. The most simple thing and obvious would be like, oh, I can use an image from a listing that I've had, especially a beautiful listing. Or maybe I worked with a client and she just bought a really beautiful home. I'll use one of those listing photos. Well, make sure you have written permission from the photographer, because whenever you purchase listing photos, you are actually just leasing those photos for the sole purpose of marketing and selling that property, not for marketing yourself. So if you do want to use one of those images, make sure you reach out to the photographer and ask if you have explicit permission to use that image in a marketing capacity outside of the house. Also, be very careful before you take any images off the internet. If they are copywritten, those fines can be tens of thousands of dollars. And that is not something I want you to get stuck with. Also, check out designs. There are tons and tons and tons of images in designs that you could use here as your hero images, whether it's pictures of houses, neighborhoods, lifestyle activities, and you have all copywritten permissions to use those images anywhere that you want to market yourself as a realtor. So always check out designs. Let me know what questions you have about that, and we can set up some time to go through that together. So here we've finished uploading our hero images. Oh, another thing I want to point out here, and I'll show you this in a little bit, is you can go through and you can change and upload hero images later on through command as well. So once we've gone through our hero images, I'm going to click save and continue. And now it's going to take us to our first page. We're going to start going through the customizing our site's content. The first page is going to be your company profile. If you are a company or a team and there's multiple people on your team, this is something you're going to want to fill out. We do have a separate About Me page, So if you are a solo agent and you market yourself as a solo agent, then you may not need a company profile page. But for myself, while I am a solo agent, but I have the Nicholas Core Real Estate Group, I would want to put together a company profile so that way consumers know that when they work with the Nicholas Core Real Estate Group, they're getting access to the best agents, the best lenders, closing attorneys, inspectors, handyman, anything that they would need, I would provide that to them as access, and that's what they would get from working with my team. So this is a page you'd fill out about your actual company. On the right-hand side, I'm going to click on navigation. So here you can see that if you wanted to reorder the page, the different pages from the drop-down menu on your homepage, you could do that here in the navigation. Then we also have search engine optimization. So you'll see here we have company profile. That's going to be what it defaults to. I could change this, and I'd recommend to about the Nicholas Core Real Estate Group. So that way, people know specifically this is about the Nicholas Core Real Estate Group. Our slug, URL slug, so this is going to be after where, see how up here it shows nicholascore.kw.com/about-us. The URL slug is going to be all that letters after that /. So it's going to default to about us, but I'm going to change this to about NKREG. Nicholas Core Real Estate Group is kind of long, so I'm just going to leave that as the abbreviations. And you can see it updates here as well as up here on the preview. Then we have our SEO description. And you do want to include your SEO description because this is going to help your website show up in organic searches. That being said, I do just want to kind of give the heads up that it will take a long time for your website to start to ascend to that first page of results within a Google search or Yahoo search or whatever. However, the SEO description is going to help that happen sooner, and it will also help consumers know exactly what the information is on that page if and when it does come up in a search result. So what you'd want to put here is just kind of like a quick description about your page, and I always like to include some contact information. So here for SEO description, I would say learn more about how the, sorry, I can't type today, how the Nicholas Core Real Estate Group can help you with all of your real estate needs. Call or text at 404-414-8238, and then I'll also include 404-531-5700 office. So you can kind of see here, this little description will let them know they learn more about my real estate group, and also includes my phone number right there. So if they don't actually want to click on this website, they can give me a call from right there. I would also recommend probably including something about Keller Williams First Atlanta. Let's see. So what you may want to do, real estate group. So let's do at KW, KW First Atlanta. Can help. So you can kind of put in whatever you'd like there. I do recommend that you do include something for your SEO description, because these are going to be some of the keywords that help your site pull up in those search results when someone is searching real estate, Atlanta, Keller Williams, or whatever. The next thing we're going to update is the content for the site. So I'm going to click on that, and then you can see here the layout of the site. So we have an enter quick description about your business here. So this is our intro paragraph. Here you can just kind of give a broad overview about your business. Then we have a section here. So we have section 1, and then we also have section 2. You can split this up however you want. If you want to include images, you can. They recommend 360 by 360 images, and you can upload those here. Or if you don't want to include images, you can also not have them, and it would make this text here center align. So for your intro paragraph, you know, Nicholas Core Real Estate Group is a top performing team at KW First Atlanta. We are here to serve, help you with all your real estate needs. All right. And in section 1, you may want to write, you know, something as simple as working with buyers. And then you can put in a paragraph here about we pride ourselves on being strong negotiators. We will work hard to get you the best price on a new home. And then you could upload a picture here of you working with buyers or whatever. And section 2 could be working with sellers. And again, we make sure you walk away from the sale of your home with the most money possible. You know, whatever you want to put there. I imagine that you probably have most of this content already written and used in some other form of marketing. So you can just include that here, maybe make some tweaks. And you can do this however you want. Working with buyers and sellers is just kind of a simple, easy go-to, but you can do it however you'd like here. Then we have our footer headline. Let us know how we can help. You know, whatever you want to include here, it'll be in that blue font. And then footer paragraph, give us a call or text today, 404-414-8238 or 404-531-5700, whatever you like to put in there. So you can see how simple it is to go through here and make these updates. Actually, let me show you. I want to upload a photo right here. I can show you how easy it is. So I'm just going to click upload. I'm going to click here to search through my photos. I'm going to click technology, photos, and this is just a standard image I've saved out of Command, so I can pick and choose how big, what part of the image I want to include. So I'll just include all of it and click set image. You can see how quickly it uploads and fills in that spot. So that's how easy it is to make that update. So I'm going to scroll down. So now I'm going to click continue. And we're going to go on to the About Me page. So we just did the company page, which is about Nicholas Core Real Estate Group as a whole. And this is going to be about me specifically as an agent. So if you have multiple team members, you would want to create numerous About Me pages for each one of your team members. So for the search engine page title, I'm going to change this to About Nicholas Core. And then the URL slug, I'm going to change this to About Nick. SEO description. Nick Core is an agent with KW First Atlanta who is excited to help you buy and sell your next home. 404-414-8238, 404-531-5700. So again, a kind of a brief explanation of what this page is about. This is going to help my page in those organic search results, and as well as include my contact information. So I'm going to scroll down to content. So page title, you can see it defaults to About Me. I'm going to change this again to About Nicholas. And then your title, Realtor at Nicholas Core Real Estate Group, because this is pulling directly from our marketing profile. Bio title, About Nicholas. You can change it if you want. I'll just change this to Nick, About Nick. So it's a little less formal. And this is pulling in my bio from my marketing profile. In the past, and I think it's something they're working on updating, there was a character limit here of up to 280 characters. So if you had a really long bio that you had included in your marketing profile, you'd get an error message here. In the event that you get an error message, go ahead and just remove most of your bio, and I'll show you how you can go back in and edit this page later on and include that full bio there. So this can be as long as you want. And we'll scroll down, contact title, contact Nicholas. Here's my phone number. I double check to make sure that the dashes appear, because for whatever reason, sometimes in Command they like to use dashes, sometimes they like to use periods, and sometimes they don't include anything. So always make sure that it is formatted correctly. Contact phone number and then contact email address. Perfect. We have our logos down here, our phone number and property address. So I'm going to click continue. And this is going to take me to the Contact Us page. So if someone wants to get in contact with the Nicholas Core Real Estate Group, they can do that directly from my website. This is going to be one of the major benefits of using this site, because all of these contacts or any messages that you receive through your Contact Us page will directly go to your command and show up as a new contact, as a new lead with a message. So then you can manage that relationship directly from command. So go through a similar process here with page title, contact us. I'll leave that as what it is. So URL slug contact. I'll just leave that. It's fine. It's simple. And then our SEO description. Get in contact with the Nicholas Core Real Estate Group to start your home buying process or your home buying plans. And then you can include your phone number there or whatever. But again, just a quick description, so that way they'll be able to, clients would be able to read this in the search results. Now I'm going to scroll down to content, and now we're going to update all this content. So page header defaults to contact us, but I'm going to change this to contact Nicholas, and then intro paragraph to give Nick a call or text today to set up time to discuss your goals with buying or selling. And you can put in whatever you want there. Then below that we have message hint, and you can include whatever information you want here. This message hint actually goes away when someone starts typing in the message box, but these are supposed to be prompts, so that way as people are filling this out, they know what kind of information to include. So are you looking to buy or sell? What's your time frame? Where are you in the search? What's your budget? You could also include, have you spoken with a lender? Any other pieces of information I might want to know. Anything that they could provide you to help you with your initial call. Put in whatever you like, and then once they start typing in here, it goes away. Below here, I'm going to check my phone number, and you can see here, it just has the numbers, no dashes. Again, I don't know why that happened, so I'm just going to add dashes over here on the left-hand side. So that way it updates over here, and it has dashes, so my phone number looks normal. And then I'm going to click Save and Continue. Now this is saving my website. So your site will automatically launch in a few moments. It may take a couple minutes. Sometimes agent websites launch immediately, and other times I've seen them take 20, 30 minutes. So now that we've completed our agent website, we've gone through the Kelly guide. I'm going to click Manage Site. I'm going to go to Site Settings because I want to go back into Command. So I'm going to click Manage Sites. All right, it's going to take me back into Command. So I'm going to click all the way back down here to the Consumer Applet. Then I'm going to click on Agent Site Pages. And here you see all three of these pages that I've just created on October 27th, the About Me, the Contact Us, and About Us pages. They are live because you see over here in the View column, they have these little eyeballs, and they're highlighted green. If they are a gray color, that means that it's not a live active website. So that lets me know that my new agent website is live. Now, let's say you want to make a few edits to it, and you want to make some adjustments to the settings. What you'll want to do is click on, within the Consumer Applet, you'll want to click on the Site and App Settings. And then you'll see here we have a handful of different tabs: General, URLs, featured listing, theme, and site pages. So we'll go through each one of them. The first one is general, so this is going to be your general settings. We have our agent site hero text. So I mentioned to you earlier that you can change that hero text that shows up and prompts consumers to search on your website. I have it as find your dream home here, but if for whatever reason you want to change it, for whatever reason, you can always come into the site and app settings and update it here. Again, same thing with the agent site hero image. You can remove any that you dislike, or you can upload any of those 1200 by 1200 images here. So that way you don't have to go back through the Kelly guide to make that update. Below here is we have our download app landing page. So each one of us has our own unique app download page. And here you can adjust the text that encourages people to download your app from that page. So it's going to default to download my app to find your new home anywhere. You can change that if you like. Below that, we have virtual tours. So if you have taken maybe either a Matterport tour, 3D tour, or you have a listing video, you can include virtual tours on your listings. If you'd like to do that, click on here, click select listing, and then you can come here and click select. So this is my listing. It's only showing my active listings right now, so I'll click confirm. And now it's going to ask me to put in the video URL. So what I would recommend is that you upload your video either to YouTube or to a Google Drive folder, and then you can include that URL right here. So I don't necessarily have that, so I'm just going to type in. Well, I don't want to mess this up because this is an active listing. So if you know anyone looking to move to Moreland Avenue, but you include that URL there, so that way whenever this listing comes up throughout KW, it'll include that virtual tour. If you want to edit any of your active tours, you can click Edit Active Tours here, and then you can click Select and go through the process of editing. So if you had an updated video made or you uploaded the video to somewhere else, you can edit that here. And once you've completed making any of those changes, either to your hero text, image, landing page, or virtual tours, be sure to click Save Changes, just so all those modifications are saved. The next tab is URLs, and this is going to be really simple. The first one is going to be your domain settings, or your subdomain. So this is where I'm saying that if you ever want to change your subdomain, so let's say right now I just have it as Nicholas Core. If I wanted to come in here and change it to Nicholas Core Real Estate Group.kw.com, I could do that here without having to go back through that Kelly guide. And then we have our app URL. So this is going to be a URL that is provided to you. You're not able to change it, but if you ever want to download your app or you want to have someone else download it, you can copy this URL here. So, and then I'm going to let me open up a new tab. I'm going to paste that in there. And now we've gone to my personal download page for my app. And there's a cool video, so you can use that app to share with consumers. The next tab is featured listings. So one of the main feedback that the Labs team received from our new agent sites is that there wasn't a place to highlight our listings. On Playster, we were able to pick our listings. That way our clients knew that we were promoting their listing anywhere that we possibly could. Well, now we do have the ability to have those featured listings on our homepage. So if you want to have featured listings, you can add a headline here. So I just have Atlanta's newest listings. And you want to come down here to select listings. And it's going to show you your listings. So I've currently have this listing that has expired, or sorry, will close now. So I'm going to select 91 Moreland Avenue, and I'm going to click done. And now I have both of these listings featured on my website. So anytime someone goes to nicholascore.kw.com, they'll see both of these listings on the homepage, front and center, kind of towards the bottom. But it will be featured. So it's another point that you're able to make to your clients as what your benefit of working with you, what the benefit would be. The next tab is theme. And again, this is really just selecting between the red and the dark theme. Not a ton here, but if you know your fancy changes and you want to have a dark theme, just come here. Makes it real easy. The next tab is site pages. And this is going to be a really important page if you plan on making any edits to your website or adding additional pages, because this is where you're going to manage the actual pages that will be live on your website. So if you click on any of the live sites over here, you'll see we have our page title, our URL slug, and our SEO description. So you can see we have our page title. You can make changes to any of these things. And you can do that right here within this page, Site Pages tab. If you want to rearrange the order of these pages in the drop-down menu, you can click on the 6 dots to the left of the name of the page and just move it to whichever position you want. And you see I have a lot of repeat pages because I just kind of keep going through this training. You can just move them. And if you ever wanted to delete a page, you can come over here, click on the page you want to delete, and then to the right, there'll be 3 dots. You can click on those 3 dots. We can either select page, so if we wanted to change the actual page that was showing up, we could do that, or click delete. So I'm going to click on delete and then confirm to delete. So now it has deleted it. If you want to change the page, so let's say I have contact Nicholas Core Real Estate Group, but I've gone through and I've made a whole new page for this. What I can do is I can click on those 3 dots and then click select page. And it's going to show me a list of all the active websites or all the websites or pages that I've created that I could load for this. And I can just click on contact us and I can change it to this page and then click continue and save. And if you ever want to add a whole brand new page, you can click add page. It's going to show you the list of all the pages that you have access to adding. So I'm just going to select Agent Bio 2. I don't know what this page is. Click continue. And then I'll fill in this information over here on the right. So new page. So I'll do Agent Bio 2, URL slug, Agent Bio 2, and then fill in my SEO description. Learn more about Nicholas Core at KW First Atlanta. And then click save. And now I've added a new page to my website. Any questions so far? I know we've gone through a lot of information pretty quickly. Any questions that you have so far? Anything that I can show you again or clarify? All right. Well, I will keep on going through. So that is how you build your website, get started, make any of those changes under the site and app settings. Now let's say you're like, you know what, I've made an updated bio and I want to update my About Me page. All right. If you want to make updates to any of your existing web pages, you have to go do that in Designs. I don't know why. Why you wouldn't do that here in the consumer applet, but you go to Design. So I'm going to click on Agent Site Pages here, and it's going to show me a list of all the pages that I have access to. And there are 3 dots over on the right-hand side, and you can see our only option is delete. We do not have the edit option here. So if you ever wanted to delete any of these pages, you could. But if you want to make that edit, we're going to click on Design, so the picture of the square with a paintbrush. And then I want to sort through because I want to look at only agent site pages. So I'm going to click on the agent site button at the top. And this is going to show me all the site pages I have access to for my agent site. So I'm going to come over here to agent profile. And I'm going to click on this. And this is going to pull up that web page, the agent profile that I just made this morning. What I recommend before you make any changes to one of these pages, come up here to the page name and update that. So I like to do the date. So I'm going to do today is 10/27/20. And the reason I like to do that is because before this updated page is allowed to go live, I have to manually set and select this page, this updated page, to then go on my website. So what I want to do is I want to update my bio here. So if you want to make changes to anything that's already on the page, I can come over here and click on Configure Widgets. If you want to add any widgets, you can. So if you want to add a team widget, another agent profile, contact form, testimonial, company profile, anything you want, you can add all those widgets here. But I just want to update my bio. So I'm going to click on Configure Widgets. And again, it's going to show me basically a very similar setup for how I can update this in Designs versus what we walk through in the Kelly Guide. This is the exact same thing as the Kelly Guide. So I'm going to leave my page title the same, Nicholas Core, Realtor Nicholas Core Real Estate Group, bio. I'm going to come over here. Now, here's the agent bio box. This is what I was saying, that if you have a really long bio and you got an error message in the Kelly Guide, you can come over here to this agent bio box and you can paste in the longest bio you have. There are no character limits here. So this is kind of your workaround to figure out how you can make, or how you can have a longer bio. Make any changes. Ooh, oh, my agent phone number doesn't have any dashes in it, so I'm going to save that again. So I'm going to add those here. And then once I've gone through and I've made all the changes I want to, I'm going to click Save and Apply in the bottom right-hand corner. And now it's made those updates. You can see here, you can paste in the longest bio you have. There are no character limits, and my phone number has dashes. So once I'm done here, I can click Save Changes. Would you like to continue to cite app settings to publish your page? I'm going to click Yes. So I'm going to click Leave. Now this is going to take me to site and app settings. So I have two options for how I can get this updated bio on my website. The first one is I can come over here to the About Nicholas Core. I can click on the page that already exists. I can click on those three dots and click Select Page. And then I can come over here and find, well, it looks like it's not showing up. Sometimes there's a limit on the number of pages that it will show. Let me come over here, click Agent Bio 2, select page. Well, theoretically, the page that I just updated with that new, with the today's date of 10/27 should show up right here. I don't know why it's not. So let me try this. Let me click back to Site Pages. Oh, I guess because I clicked Leave Page, it didn't save all the way. Well, my apologies. We're just kind of pretend that it did save. So I'm going to come back over here to Site and App Settings, Site Pages. And then I would click on the About Nicholas Core Real Estate Group. I'd click on those three dots, Select Page, and I would select what would be called About Nick 10/27, and then click Continue and Save. And there you go. That's how you would make an update to an existing page that you created in the Kelly Guide. Bye, Dawn. Thank you for joining. Have a great appointment. So now that we've gone through, we've created our website, I've showed you how to edit a website. Now let's go through the process of maybe creating our own website. There are a handful of different options of why you might want to create another page. If you have additional team members that you want to have About Me pages, if maybe you want to have a blog, there's a little bit of a workaround for a blog, not the traditional blog that many of you are used to or you had on your Placer site. Or if you want to create an open house page or something like that. So I'm going to quickly walk you through how to do that. Any questions before we do go into building a blog site or another site? All right, perfect. So if you want to start creating new pages for your website, click back onto your agent site pages within the consumer applet. And then in the top right-hand corner, we're going to click on Create a New Site. This will have a pop-up that says, where would you like your page to be displayed? On my agent website or as a standalone page? Because we want this to be included as a part of our agent site, I'm going to select on my agent site. Standalone pages are landing pages. So it's synonymous. So if you ever hear me say, oh, you can create a landing page for this, it means as a standalone page. On Thursday, we'll walk through how to create landing pages. But today I'm going to select on my agent site and click create page. So as I always recommend, we'll start at the top and we'll work our way down. So first and foremost, I want to give this page a name. So I'm going to name this blog 10/27/20. So today I want to make a blog. Well, if in the past you had a blog, maybe you typed, you created some blogs about, what's going on in the real estate market, maybe some really cool content, very similar to what you could have included in a monthly newsletter, but you wanted to have that on your website. So it gave people a reason to go to your website. Well, right now, the agent websites do not have that same type of functionality. But as KW agents, we all have HomeKeeper profiles, and we can leverage the HomeKeeper blog on our website. So we do have a bunch of content that visitors could read through. So there are a couple different ways that you can do this, and I'll show you both. But before I really start playing around with creating the website, I'm going to go to HomeKeeper, so that way I can pull up the code that you'll need to use. So let me open up HomeKeeper. HomeKeeper right here, perfect. So HomeKeeper, and then I'm going to log in. When you joined KW, you should have received information for your profile. If you don't, you can always probably go to the homekeeper.com. It's HomeKeeper with no ER, it's just R. And then I'm going to come down here, scroll down to My Widgets. So embed HomeKeeper on your website. I'm going to click Embed Widget. And you'll see here we have two widgets. We have My Trusted Pros widget and My Blog widget. So I want to use the blog widget. I'm going to click on My Blog widget. Oh, excuse me. Let me plug in my computer very quickly. All right. So we have two options for my blog widget. The first one is JavaScript, and then the second one is iframe. What we want to use today is the iframe code. Basically what an iframe is it allows a second-party website load on another website. So when someone comes to your agent website, it will load in this blog and make it appear like it is something that you've created and is on your website, where it actually is a whole different website that's just being pulled in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click on the copy code button. I've copied it. Perfect. So now I'm going to go back into command. And there are two ways that we can add this widget. The first one is if I come down here to content blocks, I can add a text block. And then I can paste in that iframe widget and just double click on it. And then you'll see it automatically pulls in that widget, which is great and it looks really nice, but I'd have to add another text block up here and then type in blog, go through the process of editing all this, which is fine. Let's, typography, we can center that. There we go. Like, that's not terrible. But there is another way that I can make this look a lot better for you. One of the really cool things about the widgets that we have within building our site is that we can actually put code in those widgets. So rather than having these text boxes and just, this unformatted blog, I can use a text, or I can use a widget. So I'm going to come up to the widgets, and I'm going to recommend that you use the agent profile widget. To me, that really looks the sharpest and makes it look like a legitimate page. So I'm going to delete these two, text blocks that I've added. So I'm going to delete that. So now I have nothing here, and I'm going to drag over the agent profile widget. Now it's going to load in my agent profile information from my marketing profile, but don't worry, we're going to edit that. What I'm going to do is down here at the bottom of the screen, in the bottom right-hand corner, I'm going to click on Configure Widgets. And then I'll select Agent Profile, and we'll just go through the process, start from top to bottom, and update the information. So it's going to pull in my headshot, but this is a blog, so I don't necessarily want my headshot. So I can kind of put whatever image here that I think makes the most sense for a blog. So I'm going to click on the image icon so I can replace that image. And I'm just going to select this standard image that I've used numerous times before. It's a little picture of the dog that I got from Designs. Then page title, and I'm going to update this to real estate blog. Role and company. I'm going to change this to stay up to date on what's going on in the Atlanta real estate, if I could type today, state market. Bio title, so here it says about Nicholas. I'm just going to name this blog. And then here we have our agent bio. So I'm going to delete all of that text. And then I'm going to paste in that code from the Homekeeper blog. And then below here, it says contact Nicholas. You know what? I'm going to leave that as contact. So that way, if someone's on my blog and they're like, oh, you know what? I feel really inspired. I'm going to reach out to Nick. I'm just going to leave that information there. So it's super easy, but I'm going to add the dashes to my phone number. And then I'm going to click save and apply. And now you see, I have updated the agent profile widget to house a blog. And it looks really formatted and really professional. And I think, to me, it stands out. And they can scroll within this box here and scroll through all the different blog articles that are available. Any questions on how to update that widget, the agent profile widget, to add a blog? All right. So once you have gone through and you've updated that widget, I'm going to click Save Changes here. Would you like to continue to add sightings to publish your page? I'm going to click No. So now you can see here, here's my blog 1027 page. If I scroll over to the right, the preview icon is not teal. So it says no view available. This is not an active subpage. So now I need to add this blog that I just created to my website. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to go back up to Site and App Settings. I'm going to click Site Pages. And then I want to add a new page. So in the bottom left-hand corner, I'll select Add Page. I'm going to select the page I want to use, which is blog 1027. That's why I recommend you give them a consistent naming convention. So as you're going through here, it's very easy for you to find the correct page you want to use. So I'll click Continue. And then page here, page title, I'm going to name this blog 1027. URL slug, blog 1027. SEO description. And I'm just going to put new blog. But you get the idea based on our previous SEO descriptions of what you'd want to include here. And then I'm going to click Save. And I've now added that blog 1027 to my agent site pages. I want to move this up though. I want this to be really high. So I'm going to grab those 6 dots. I'm going to move it to that second position. And then I'll just click Save. I like to click Save a lot just so I don't ever lose anything. Now I want to show you what my website actually looks like. The easiest way to go to your website is to click on Agent Site Pages. And I'm going to click on right here where it says See Your Configured Agent Site in that blue bar, nicholascore.kw.com. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to open up a new browser window. You can see here I have my First Atlanta logo and my business logo. Kind of small, but they're the same size. Then I have here, Find Your Dream Home here. And then we have the option for consumers to search for sale or for rent properties, which is great. And the for rent search is new. And you can see that the image back and behind is carouseling through the different options that I have. If you scroll up here to this drop-down menu, it shows Nicholas Core Real Estate Group. Click on the drop-down. We have our home button. We have our blog 1027 button, about, testimonials, Nicholas Core, all these different pages that I've created through handfuls of different iterations of this training. And I'm going to click on blog 1027. And now you can see what the live blog site looks like. It looks really great. They can scroll through all the different blog articles that Homekeeper has posted. And then when they find one that they like, oh, remodeling for a high ROI. You can click on that and it will open up that blog page. from HomeKeeper. And here's my little profile for HomeKeeper. So it still looks like it's, you know, for me. And they can reach out to me. Here's my phone number. And then here's this beautiful blog article. And it is that simple. Any questions on how to create your website, update your website, create additional pages, make any changes to anything? We've gone through a lot of information this morning, so just want to, you know, we have a couple minutes, so I want to make sure we have enough time for me to answer any questions or show you anything or clarify anything. All right, well, if there aren't any questions, I'll let you go. Put 3 minutes back on your calendar. I really appreciate you joining me this morning. As you start to play around with your agent website, please let me know what questions you have. I'm always here to help, and I'm always happy to set up a one-on-one with you if you would like, and we can go through creating your website together. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and I will speak with you soon. Thank you.